This tutorial is to help you understand how to find volume of a rectangular prism with fractional edges. Now, we all know that the formula for finding volume is length times width times height. But I think a lot of you guys got confused on problems like this because it was talking about a cube, and so you only had one measurement. Now, when we're dealing with cubes, we know that all of the sides are going to be equal. So the reason it only gave you the one fraction here, or mixed number, is because every single side is 3.5 inches long, wide, and high. So I need to take my 3.5, and that's going to be the length, and 3.5 will be the width, and 3.5 will be the height. Now, I can't just multiply it like this. I have to change each one of these mixed numbers into an improper fraction. So what I want to do in order to do that is what we call the Ferris wheel. And the reason we call it that is because we start at the bottom and we say, well, 2 times 3 gives me 6. And I keep going around my Ferris wheel, and now I'm going to add the 1 for my numerator. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So what that means is that my new numerator is going to be 7, but my denominator doesn't change. It's still 2. So now, instead of having 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5, I have 7 halves times 7 halves times 7 halves. And that's what you want to do. You want to get rid of any mixed numbers. So you make your fractions improper, and then you're going to do your multiplication. Now we know that to multiply fractions, we're just going to go straight across. So I'm going to do all these 2's first. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So my new denominator is going to be 8. Now that I've got my new denominator, I need to work on my numerator. So I have 7 times 7 times 7. Well, I already know that 7 times 7 is 49, so I'm going to start there. And then I need to multiply the 49 times an additional 7. So 9 times 7 is 63. And 7 times 4 is 28. And 28 plus 6 is 34. So 343 is going to be my numerator. Now this is another area where I see you guys get confused. You get to this point and you're not exactly sure what to do. You have to remember that every fraction is really a division problem. So what this is showing me over here is really 343 divided by 8. So your next step is to do the division. So how many times does 8 go into 3? No times. So then we try 34. 8 goes into 34 4 times. 8 times 4 is 32. We subtract. We're going to get 2 and bring down the 3. So now we need to figure out how many times 8 goes into 23. Well, that's going to be twice. And 8 times 2 is 16. We subtract, and we get 7. All right. Now, typically when we're dividing like this, I would have you guys go ahead and put the 0, put the decimal point, and bring it down and continue. But since we're working on fractions, one easier thing that you can do is you can use this remainder and let it become your numerator. And then the 8 is your new denominator. So when we go back to our original problem, number 16 from the test, and we're trying to find out what the volume of a cube with edges that measure 3.5 inches are, we see our correct answer, 42 7/8. Now remember, these questions are only confusing if you forget that a cube has all equal sides. So the height, the width, and the length are all going to be exactly the same. You have to change them into improper fractions, multiply straight across, and then divide in order to simplify.